Dibrey ha'Yamim1, 1Chronicles, chapters 10 through 12. Dibrey ha'Yamim1, 1Chronicles, chapter 10. And the Palestites fought against Yisra'el, and the men of Yisra'el fled from before the Palestites, and fell slain on Mount Gilboa. And the Palestites pursued Sha'ul and his sons, and the Palestites smote Jonathan, and Avinadab, and Malchishua, sons of Sha'ul. And the battle was heavy on Sha'ul, and the archers hit him, and he was wounded by the archers. And Sha'ul said to his armor-bearer, "Draw your sword, and thrust me through with it, lest these uncircumcised ones come and abuse me." But his armor-bearer would not, for he was much afraid. So Sha'ul took a sword and fell on it. And when his armor-bearer saw that Sha'ul was dead, he also fell on his sword and died. Thus Sha'ul and his 3 sons died, and all his house. They died together. And when all the men of Yisra'el who were in the valley saw that they had fled, and that Sha'ul and his sons were dead, they forsook their cities and fled, and the Palestites came and dwelt in them. And the next day it came to be, when the Palestites came to strip the slain, that they found Sha'ul and his sons fallen on Mount Gilboa. And they stripped him, and took his head and his armor, and sent word throughout the land of the Palestites to proclaim the news among their idols and among the people, and put his armor in the house of their mighty ones, and fastened his head in the house of Dagon. And all Yavesh Gilead heard of all that the Palestites had done to Sha'ul, and all the brave men arose and took the body of Sha'ul and the bodies of his sons, and they brought them to Yabesh, and buried their bones under the tamarisk tree at Yabesh, and fasted 7 days. Thus Sha'ul died for his trespass which he had trespassed against Yahuah, because he did not guard the word of Yahuah, and also for asking a medium for to make inquiry, and did not inquire of Yahuah. So he put him to death, and turned the reign over to Dawid, son of Yishai. Divrei ha'Yamim1, 1Chronicles, chapter 11. And all Yisra'el came together to Dawid at Hebron, saying, "See, we are your bone and your flesh. Also, in time past, even when Sha'ul was sovereign, you were the one who led Yisra'el out and brought them in. And Yahuah, your Elohim, said to you, 'Shepherd my people Yisra'el, and be ruler over my people Yisra'el.' So all the elders of Yisra'el came to the sovereign at Hebron, and Dawid made a covenant with them at Hebron before Yahuah, and they anointed Dawid sovereign over Yisra'el, according to the word of Yahuah by Shemuel. And Dawid and all Yisra'el went to Jerusalem, which is Yebus, where the Jebusites were, the inhabitants of the land. And the inhabitants of Yebus said to Dawid, 'You do not come in here.' But Dawid captured the stronghold of Zion, the city of Dawid. And Dawid said, 'Whoever smites the Jebusites first becomes chief and commander.' And Joab, son of Zerubbabel, went up first and became chief. And Dawid dwelt in the stronghold, so they called it the city of Dawid. And he built the city around it from Millo round about, and Joab restored the rest of the city. And Dawid went on and became great, and Yahuah of hosts was with him. And these were the heads of the mighty men whom Dawid had, who strengthened themselves with him in his reign with all Yisra'el, to appoint him to reign over Yisra'el, according to the word of Yahuah. And these are the number of the mighty men whom Dawid had: Yashovam, son of a Chachmonite, chief of the 30. He had lifted up his spear against 300, slain at one time. And after him was Eleazar, son of Dodo the Ahohite, who was one of the 3 mighty men. He was with Dawid at Pasdamim, and the Palestites were gathered there for battle, and a portion of the field was filled with barley, and the people had fled before the Palestites. But they took their stand in the midst of that field, and delivered it, and smote the Palestites. Thus Yahuah saved them by a great deliverance. And 3 of the 30 chiefs went down to the rock to Dawid into the cave of Adullam, while the army of the Palestites encamped in the valley of Rephaim. And Dawid was then in the stronghold, And the watchpost of the Palestinites was then in Bethlehem. And Dawid longed and said, "Oh, that someone would give me a drink of water from the well of Bethlehem, which is by the gate." And the three broke through the camp of the Palestinites and drew water from the well of Bethlehem that was by the gate, and took it and brought it to Dawid. But Dawid would not drink it, but poured it out to Yahuah, and he said, "Far be it from me, O my Elohim, that I should do this. Should I drink the blood of these men who have risked their lives? For at the risk of their lives they brought it." And he would not drink it. This is what the three mighty men did. And Abishai, the brother of Joab, was chief of another three, and he had lifted up his spear against 300 men who were slain, and won a name among the three. Of the three, he was more esteemed than the other two men, so he became their head. However, he did not come to the first three. Benaiah was the son of Jehoiada, the son of a brave man from Kabzeel, who had done many deeds. He smote 2 lion-like Moabites. He also went down and smote a lion in the midst of a pit on a snowy day. And he smote a Mitzrite, a man of great height, 5 amah tall. And in the Mitzrite's hand was a spear like a weaver's beam. And he went down to him with a staff, and wrenched the spear out of the Mitzrite's hand, and slew him with his own spear. This is what Benaiah, son of Jehoiada, did, and won a name among the three mighty men. See, he was more esteemed than the 30, but he did not come to the first three, and Dawid appointed him over his court. And the mighty men of the armies were Asahel, the brother of Joab, Elchanan, son of Dodo of Bethlehem, Shemoth the Harorite, Chelez the Pelonite, Ira, son of Ikesh the Tekoite, Eviezer the Anothathite, Sivkai the Cushathite, Eli the Achochite, Maharai the Netophathite, Heled, son of Baanah the Netophathite, Ithai, son of Revi of Givah of the children of Benjamin, Benaiah the Pyrothonite, Hurai of the Wadis of Gaash, Aviel the Arbathite, Azmeweth the Bacharumite, Eliachba the Sha'ulbonite, the sons of Hashem the Gizonite, Jonathan, son of Shagai the Harite, Achjam, son of Sakar the Harite, Eliphel, son of Hephir the Macherathite, Ahiah the Pelonite, Chezro the Carmelite, Naarai, son of Ezbai, Yoel the brother of Nathan, Mivchar, son of Hagri, Zelek the Ammonite, Nachari the Berothite, the armor-bearer of Joab, son of Zeruiah, Ira the Yithrite, Gerev the Yithrite, Uriah the Hittite, Zavad, son of Achlai, Adina, son of Shiza, the Reuvenite, the head of the Reuvenites, and 30 with him, Hanan, son of Maacah, and Joshaphat the Mithnite, Uzziah the Ashtorethite, Shema and Yael, the sons of Hotham the Arorite, Yediel, son of Shimri, and Yocha, his brother, the Tizite, Eliel, the Machawite, and Yerevai, and Yoshawiah, the sons of Elnaam, Yithma, the Moabite, Eliel, and Ovid, and Yaasiel of Mezoviah. Divrei ha'Yamim1, 1Chronicles, chapter 12. Now these are they who came to Dawid at Ziklag while he was still in hiding from Sha'ul, son of Kish. And they were among the mighty men helping the battle, armed with bows, using both the right hand and the left, with stones and with arrows, with bows of the brothers of Sha'ul of Benjamin. The chief was Ahiezer and Joash, the sons of Shemaiah the Givathite, and Yisra'el and Pelet, the sons of Azmaweth, and Berakah and Yahu the Anothathite, and Yishmaiah the Givonite, a mighty man among the 30 and over the 30, and Yirmaiah and Yachaziel and Yochanan and Yozavad the Gederathite, Eluzai and Yerimoth and Belaliah and Shemaryahu and Shaphatyahu the Haruphite, Elkanah and Yeshiyahu and Azarel and Yawazer and Yoshavam the Korhites, and Yoelah and Zevadiah the sons of Yeroham of Gedor. And some Gadites separated themselves to Dawid at the stronghold in the wilderness, mighty brave men, men trained for battle, who could handle shield and spear, whose faces were like the faces of lions and were as swift as gazelles on the mountains. Ezir the chief, Ovadiah the second, Eliab the third, Mishmana the fourth, Yirmiah the fifth, Attai the sixth, Eliel the seventh, Yochanan the eighth, Elzavad the ninth, Yirmiyahu the 10th, Machbenai the 11th. These were from the sons of God, chiefs of the army. The least was over 100, and the greatest was over 1,000. These were the ones who passed over the Adon in the first month, when it was overflowing all its banks, and put to flight all those in the valleys to the east and to the west. And some of the children of Benjamin and Yehudah came to Dawid at the stronghold, and Dawid went out to face them and answered and said to them, If you have come peaceably to me to help me, my heart shall be united with you. But if to betray me to my enemies, there is no violence in my hands. Let the Elohim of our fathers see and reprove. Then the Ruah came upon Amasai, chief of the officers. Yours, O Dawid, and with you, O son of Yishai, peace, peace to you, and peace to your helpers, for your Elohim shall help you. And Dawid received them and put them among the chiefs of the raiding band. And some from Manasseh went over to Dawid when he was going with the Palestinites to battle against Sha'ul, but they did not help them, for the princes of the Palestinites took advice and sent him away, saying, He might go over to his master Sha'ul with our heads. When he went to Ziklag, those of Manasseh who went over to him were Adnah and Yozavad and Yediael and Michael and Yozavad and Elihu and Zilithai, chiefs of the thousands who were from Manasseh. And they helped Dawid against the raiding bands, for they were all mighty brave men, and they were commanders in the army. For at that time they came to Dawid day by day to help him, until it was a great army, like an army of Elohim. And these were the numbers of the chiefs of those who were armed for battle, and came to Dawid at Hebron to turn over the reign of Sha'ul to him, according to the word of Yahuah. Of the children of Yehudah, bearing shield and spear, 6,800 armed for battle. Of the children of Shimon, mighty brave men for the army, 7,100. Of the children of Levi, 4,600. And Jehoiada, the leader of the Aharonites, and with him 3,700. And Zadok, a young man, a mighty brave man, and from his father's house 22 commanders. And the children of Benjamin, relatives of Sha'ul, 3,000. Until then the greatest part of them guarded the charge of the house of Sha'ul. And the children of Ephraim, 20,800, mighty brave ones, men of name throughout their father's house. And the half-tribe of Manasseh, 18,000, who were designated by name to come and appoint Dawid to reign. And the children of Yisra'el, who had understanding of the times, to know what Yisra'el should do. Their chiefs were 200, and all their brothers were at their command. Of Zebulun, there were 50,000 going out to the army, arranging battle with all weapons of battle, giving support with undivided heart. And of Naphtali, 1,000 commanders, and with them 37,000 with shield and spear. And of the Danites, arranging battle, 28,600. And of Asher, going out to the army, arranging battle, 40,000. And of the Reuvenites and the Gadites and the half-tribe of Manasseh, from beyond the Yarden, 120,000 armed for battle with every kind of weapon of battle. All these men of battle, keeping rank, came to Hebron with a perfect heart to appoint Dawid to reign over all Yisra'el. And all the rest of Yisra'el were of one heart to appoint Dawid to reign. And they were there with Dawid 3 days, eating and drinking, for their brothers had prepared for them. And also those who were near to them, from as far away as Yissaschar and Zebulun and Naphtali, were bringing food on donkeys and camels, on mules and cattle, food of flour and cakes of figs and cakes of raisins, wine and oil and cattle and sheep in great quantities, for there was joy in Yisra'el.